You know, the butcher. The freaking nut job that goes around just chopping people up. Well, the feds or whatever heard that he's gonna be here today. So they set up a trap for him.
Dad. Dad. Dad.
There's two things I find that people find immensely interested in that are real, which is dinosaurs and serial killers. They're like, because they both are real monsters that existed. So there's this kind of, you get to almost talk about the supernatural, people that have no empathy, people, that fear of like, oh my God, this person's lying to me. Everything they say is a lie. Or dinosaurs, oh my God, these monsters actually existed, and that truth to it, that hey, this was real, it frightens us. And so I get to have all the sugar of a fantasy, but it's real.
I've always wanted to work with Knight, and when I found out that he was making another movie with a character that was, possibly around my age, and like I could have been right for, my agents said that he wanted to meet me, and I was instantly like, I was going to do the movie because I just have always wanted to work with him. Then when I read the script, I was like, ooh, shit, this is going to be tough to pull off. Like it's a trick that is very difficult to, you don't see this very often, where you have a character that's so dark, so menacing, and so kind of wild, and you have to be on his side the whole time.
Dad. Dad. Dad.
When you actually look at the stats about how many people are sociopaths, it's astonishing how much it is. They actually say it's 4% of the population has no empathy. Now that doesn't mean they're chopping people up and killing people, but they're pretending to have feelings, and they're pretending to go, oh yeah, no, that's really sad, and yet they the only reason that they don't do it's not to their advantage. But they don't feel anything, which is absolutely frightening when we think about it.
What I found kind of fascinating and wanted to be able to pull off was to make this character feel credible and real, but also have all these different lights and darks kind of mesh into one person and have it be entertaining for an audience as well. And Knight's big trick, what he wanted to pull off, was bringing us into a thriller genre from the antagonist's perspective, from the bad guy's perspective, and make you fall for him, make the audience sort of enjoy being around him and want him to escape. And then, it's against your better judgment. And that's, I think, a really difficult thing to pull off, first off, but also a worthy goal. And I find like Knight's work to be so original, and he's thinking about these sort of things in ways that a lot of directors aren't. And I just celebrate that and want to be a part of it.
Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I can leave you here in the seat.
I'm good, Dad.
This came from following a daughter around the world. Salika was, performing in different places, and we would go watch, and I have lots of friends that are musicians, so I used to go to concerts and just watch what's happening and be backstage and see it from the beginning all the way at when they arrive to how they greet the fans before the concert, and then the opening act, and then each step of a concert. And I found it very interesting place to put a thriller. So that's where kind of it came from. But then when I was shooting when we were preparing the movie, I looked at footage of all these pop stars and what they do, whether it's Taylor Swift in particular, or Justin Bieber back in the day, and how did they do their movements of their concert.
Knight is very aware of what the audience is wanting right now. He's just like, he's I think an avid film buff. He's in there watching a lot of films these days. He loves the process of making film, and he's a very gentle director. Like on set, I watch him sort of soaking in what's on his monitor as though he's one of an audience member. He just flicks into that sort of zone.